All right, get ready because today we're taking a deep dive into the world of continuation in part patent
The
application.
CI.
CIPs,
Yeah,
short and sweet.
that's right.
You're probably thinking, oh, okay, sounds pretty technical.
Yeah.
And you're not wrong.
It's patents.
But trust me, it's way more interesting than just paperwork.
Oh, yeah.
This is about serious strategy for protecting inventions, and we're going to uncover how it all works.
It's a kind of secret weapon, in the patent world.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
And today we're going to break down exactly how it works.
Exactly.
Our source material comes from Thomas W. Galvani, PC,
Okay.
a guide to CIP applications, right from their website.
Right.
Plus, their About Us page
Yeah.
gives us a feel for their expertise.
Hmm.
So let's break down what CIP applications are, why they're so valuable, and where those hidden traps lie.
Yeah, let's get into it.
First things first, what exactly is a CIP application?
So imagine you've invented something incredible, right? A revolutionary new gadget, and you file for a patent, but as you continue developing it, you realize there are more possibilities,
Yeah.
more ways to improve it.
Of course.
A CIP lets you add those new developments to your existing patent application.
So it's not a totally new patent, it's like an upgrade.
Exactly.
Right.
The key is you keep the original filing date for the parts of the invention that haven't changed.
Okay, yeah.
That date is super important in the patent world.
Okay, so why is that such a big deal?
Yeah,
Why not just file a brand new patent for the improved version?
that's where the strategy comes in.
Okay,
Think of it like building a fortress around your invention.
I like it.
A CIP lets you create a whole network of interconnected patents, what's called a patent family.
So instead of just one patent protecting your idea,
Right.
you've got this whole family of patents all linked together.
Precisely.
Okay.
This family strategy can outmaneuver competitors and keep your invention protected for much longer than a single patent could.
The guide we're using gives a great example.
Okay.
A 3-axis drilling machine.
Oh, yeah.
Let's say you patent the machine itself.
Mm-hmm.
But years later, a competitor comes along using a similar drilling process, which you didn't specifically patent.
Right.
Ouch.
Right. That's a classic scenario.
Yeah.
Without a CIP, you might be stuck.
Oh, no.
But because your patent family is still alive,
Okay.
you could file a CIP to specifically protect that drilling process, even though it wasn't in the original patent.
So you're essentially blocking that competitor
Right.
even years later because you kept that patent family going.
Exactly.
Right.
And the strategy is especially powerful in fast-moving fields where technology is constantly evolving. You can protect each improvement as you go, making it way harder for competitors to copy you.
It's like you're constantly adding new walls and towers to that patent fortress,
I love that.
right?
That's a great way to put it.
That visual.
Yeah, and there's another bonus.
Okay.
CIPs are often cheaper and faster to process than filing a brand new patent.
Oh, wow. Cool.
You're building on what's already there.
So far, CIPs sound pretty amazing.
They are a powerful tool.
But I'm guessing there's a catch, right?
Of course.
There have to be some downsides to consider.
There are always trade-offs in the patent world.
Sure.
One thing to be super careful about is how you classify your application.
Okay.
Calling something a CIP when it's not can lead to serious problems down the line.
So this is where things get really technical.
There are actually specific types of CIPs, and each one has its own rules and implications.
Got it.
Misclassifying them can limit your patent term or the scope of your protection. It's all about getting the details right.
Definitely something you want to discuss with an expert then.
Absolutely. And here's another potential trap.
Oh, yeah.
It's called prosecution history estoppel.
Ooh, that sounds a little intimidating.
Yeah, it's a mouthful, right?
Yeah. Can you break that down for us?
Yeah.
What does that actually mean in plain English?
It basically means that arguments you made to get your first patent approved can come back to haunt you when you're defending your CIP later on. Let's say you downplayed a certain feature of your invention in your original patent application to make it easier to get approved.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can't suddenly turn around and claim that same feature is super important in your CIP.
Right.
The patent office will remember what you said before.
So it's like you're setting a precedent
Exactly.
with your initial argument.
Every word matters when you're dealing with patents.
Okay, that makes sense. Consistency is key.
Yeah.
So while CIPs can be powerful, you really need to be strategic about how you use them.
Absolutely. And one more thing to keep in mind is that managing a patent family with multiple CIPs can get complex.
Yeah, I bet.
You need to keep track of all the different filing dates, claims, and arguments.
It sounds like this is definitely something you wouldn't want to try to handle on your own.
You're absolutely right.
Right.
A good patent attorney can help you navigate all of this complexity and make sure your CIP strategy is rock solid.
So we've covered the basics of what CIPs are and why they're so valuable. But we've also uncovered some potential downsides that inventors need to be aware of.
Yeah, definitely a lot to think about.
It's all about weighing the benefits and risks carefully.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to explore further as we dive deeper into the strategic considerations of using CIPs.
All right, we're going to take a quick break to let all that information sink in. When we come back, we'll unpack the strategic side of CIPs and see how inventors can use them to their advantage. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about how CIPs can be a bit of a double-edged sword.
Great.
Powerful, yes, but also tricky to navigate without a clear strategy.
It's like playing a high-stakes game of chess. You need to think several moves ahead
Ooh, I like that.
to make sure your CIP strategy is going to work in your favor.
So what are some of those strategic moves? How can inventors use CIPs to build a strong patent portfolio?
Well, one of the key benefits we touched on earlier is the ability to extend the life of a patent family.
Right, that whole idea of creating a chain of patents that all link back to the original filing date. But I'm still a bit fuzzy on how that actually works in practice.
Okay, let's break it down. As long as you have at least one application pending in that family, you can file a new one that claims priority to the original filing date.
Okay.
It's a bit like passing a baton in a relay race.
So it's not just a matter of adding new features to an existing patent.
Right.
You're actually creating a whole new application that builds on the previous one.
Exactly. And each new application can bring in new claims, new arguments, new ways to protect your invention.
Okay.
This gives you incredible flexibility to adapt to changes in the market or in technology.
So hold on, this is where it gets really interesting for me. Does that mean you could potentially write and file claims on something that was disclosed years ago in a previous application, even if it's now being used by a competitor?
That's the real power of CIPs.
Whoa. Okay.
Remember that 3-axis drilling machine example?
Yeah.
Let's say the original patent only covered the machine's structure, but not the specific drilling process. 5 years later, a competitor starts using a similar process without a CIP. You might be out of luck.
That doesn't sound good.
But here's the strategic play. If you've kept that patent family alive with a pending application, you could file a new CIP application that specifically claims that drilling process, even though it was disclosed years ago.
It's like you're pulling a rabbit out of a hat.
I like that.
Suddenly you have a way to protect that process, even though you didn't specifically claim it in the original patent. That's brilliant.
It's all about anticipating future moves and making sure you have the right pieces in place. And CIPs aren't just about playing defense. They can also be used to protect incremental improvements to your invention.
Oh, okay. So instead of waiting for a major breakthrough to file a new patent, you can use CIPs to protect each small improvement along the way.
Exactly. You're constantly adding layers of protection, making it harder and harder for competitors to catch up.
Yeah.
And because you're reusing much of the disclosure from the parent application, CIPs can be much more cost-effective than filing a completely new patent.
So we've talked about extending patent life and protecting incremental improvements.
Yeah.
Are there any other specific situations where CIPs are particularly useful?
Absolutely. One common scenario is when you discover new uses for your invention after filing the original application.
So you're talking about situations where your invention turns out to be even more versatile than you initially thought. It's like finding a hidden feature on your smartphone that you didn't even know existed.
Exactly. You can use a CIP to expand the scope of your patent protection to cover those new applications, potentially opening up new markets and licensing opportunities.
So you're future-proofing your patent portfolio.
Precisely.
That's incredibly valuable. But what about situations where your invention is facing challenges like new prior art that threatens the validity of your original patent?
That's a tough spot to be in.
Yeah.
But even then, a CIP can be a lifesaver. You can use it to distinguish your invention from the prior art, narrowing your claims to avoid infringement and maintain at least some level of protection.
So it's not just about expanding your protection.
Right.
It's also about defending your existing patent rights.
Exactly. CIPs give you a lot of flexibility to adapt to changing circumstances. But remember, with flexibility comes complexity.
Of course.
This is where a good patent attorney can be your most valuable asset.
Right.
They can help you navigate the strategic considerations and make sure your CIP strategy is aligned with your overall business goals.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, but I'm curious, how do CIPs actually work on a practical level? What exactly goes into filing one of these applications?
Well, a CIP application looks a lot like a regular patent application.
Hmm.
You'll have a detailed description of the invention drawings to illustrate how it works, and specific claims that define what you're seeking to protect.
So far, so good. That sounds pretty straightforward. But I'm guessing there are some unique elements to a CIP application as well.
You're right, there are two key pieces you won't find in a regular patent application: a cross-reference and a benefit claim.
Okay.
The cross-reference essentially points back to the parent application, establishing the lineage of the invention.
So it's like saying, hey, this new CIP application is related to this previous one, and we want to claim the benefits of that earlier filing date.
Exactly, and that's where the benefit claim comes in.
Okay.
It's a formal statement in the application data sheet that specifically identifies the earlier applications and how the CIP is related to them. The Patent Office uses this information to track the relationships between applications.
It sounds like the paperwork is just as important as the invention itself.
Oh,
One
my.
little mistake could have big consequences.
You're absolutely right. Accuracy and attention to detail are crucial when it comes to CIP applications. That's another reason why having an experienced patent attorney on your side is so important.
Right.
They can help you navigate the complexities of the process and make sure everything is done correctly.
This has been incredibly informative, and I'm starting to see how powerful CIPs can be. But I can also imagine that managing a whole portfolio of CIPs could be a real headache.
It definitely requires careful planning and organization. You need to keep track of all the different filing dates, claims, and arguments. A good patent attorney can help you develop a system for managing all of this information and make sure you're staying on top of things.
All right, so we've talked about the strategy, the mechanics, and the importance of expert guidance. But before we wrap up our deep dive into CIPs, I want to shift gears a bit and talk about the big picture.
Sounds good to me. I always enjoy connecting the dots and seeing how things fit together.
Exactly. So let's talk about how CIPs fit into the larger context of innovation and intellectual property. What are some of the broader implications of this strategy? So we've been digging deep, into these mechanics, the strategy, all the stuff with CIPs. But how does this all connect back to the bigger picture of innovation?
I think what's so fascinating about CIPs is they really highlight the dynamic nature of invention itself.
It's not just about having that one aha moment and then patenting it.
Right.
It's about continuous improvement.
Exactly. CIPs give inventors that flexibility to adapt and refine their inventions over time, which is so crucial in today's fast-paced world.
Instead of a static patent, it becomes more like a living document constantly evolving,
Right.
along with the technology and the market.
That's a great way to put it. And I think this approach also really encourages ongoing innovation because you're not afraid to keep tinkering and improving, knowing you can protect those improvements along the way.
Yeah, because you don't have to feel like, oh, I've got to wait till I have this big, amazing thing
Right.
to file that
Yeah.
next patent.
Yeah,
It seems like CIPs almost incentivize inventors to think long-term,
absolutely.
to build almost like a roadmap for their invention's future.
Yeah, and this long-term thinking can lead to much greater impact for the invention itself. A groundbreaking invention might take years, even decades, to fully realize its potential. CIPs can help protect that potential along that whole journey.
Okay, so let's put this all together and give our listeners something to ponder.
Okay.
Imagine you're developing a truly revolutionary technology, something with the potential to change the world.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay, let's say it's a device that can translate animal languages.
Ooh. Now, that's a fascinating example. It makes you wonder what secrets we could unlock if we could understand what animals are trying to tell us.
Right, like what's my dog actually thinking?
Exactly.
So how would you use CIPs strategically to make sure this invention has the biggest impact and the longest lasting protection?
Well, first, I'd think beyond just the basic translation function.
Okay.
What are all the potential applications of this technology? Maybe there are medical uses,
Oh, interesting.
like diagnosing illnesses based on animal sounds,
Okay.
or conservation applications using animal communication to understand and protect endangered species.
Or even applications in like AI, artificial intelligence. Imagine
Ugh.
being able to train AI models on the complex communication patterns of animals.
Exactly. So your initial patent application might focus on that core technology, the device, and that basic translation process. But as you explore these different applications,
Right.
you'd file CIPs to protect each specific use case.
So a CIP for the medical diagnostics, another for the conservation applications, one for the AI development, and so on.
You got it. That way, you're building a really comprehensive patent portfolio that anticipates the future evolution of the invention and as the technology itself improves.
Okay.
Maybe a more portable version of the device or the ability to translate new animal languages. You'd continue to file CIPs to protect those advancements.
It's almost like you're weaving this really intricate tapestry of protection around this incredible invention,
Yeah.
making sure it has the resources and the legal backing to reach its full potential.
And that's the beauty of CIPs. They allow inventors to dream big and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible, knowing they have a way to protect their innovations along the way. It transforms a patent from just a static document into a dynamic tool for long-term success.
This deep dive has been truly eye-opening. I think our listener is now well equipped to understand not just what CIPs are, but how to use them strategically to shape the future of their inventions.
I agree. They now have a really solid understanding of the power of CIPs, the potential pitfalls to watch out for, and most importantly, how to think strategically about their patent portfolio.
And remember, you don't have to go it alone. A good patent attorney can be an invaluable partner in this journey. They can help you navigate the complexities, anticipate challenges, and make sure your CIP strategy is aligned with your overall vision.
Absolutely. So, to our listeners, if you're working on something groundbreaking, something with the power to make a real difference in the world, don't underestimate the strategic advantage of CIPs. They could be the key to unlocking the full potential of your invention.
And on that inspiring note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us as we explored the fascinating world of continuation in part patent applications. Keep those innovative ideas flowing, and remember, the future is yours to shape.